Now that we got Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks out of the way, me and Ethan both love basketball, and the NBA is coming up. And me and him, we both live in the Chicago area, so we somewhat follow the Bulls. And I'm a huge Bulls fan. I'm sure he's somewhat of a fan too. So let's kind of talk about the Bulls in terms of the new management, the coaching. Do you like the change? Is it a step in the right direction for the Bulls?
I love the VP, Artūras or whatever his name is. I think AK is what you called him.
Yeah.
I think, he did really well in Denver. He brought that team and turned them into a playoff team. He made a lot of good trades there. And I think the pieces are there for the Bulls to compete.
Right.
So I think that, a couple, trades here and there maybe that they can make to put another piece on that team. I think so. And, so I think that's definitely in the step in the right direction for sure.
Yeah. And, I honestly don't think it could get any worse. The only way it can get worse if you hire the management from, the Knicks, because they're terrible at everything.
Yeah.
But, AK has drafted, what's his face? Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
He drafted him in Denver, and it obviously worked out because he's a great big man that can pass the ball, and he must have saw that from the beginning. And then looking at the coaching position, Billy Donovan, I like the move for him because he's already worked with all-star talent. He's been in the playoffs before, and even before the NBA, he was a head coach at Florida, and he's taken that team to, I think, two titles, and he's developed players too.
Yeah.
So he has all-star experience, and he has developmental experience because we have a lot of young pieces, and we have upcoming all-stars. Actually, we already do have one. We have Zach LaVine. He's up there. I just think maybe he can find a way to utilize him better along some other players. And here's another thing to forget. Before he moved out of OKC, he was a Coach of the Year nominee for the 2020 season. And he took a team that wasn't projected to even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's something right there. And what I like about Billy is that he's a defensive first kind of coach. His defense is kind of, with OKC, they weren't really an offensive powerhouse or defensive powerhouse. They were more, but their defense was a little bit better than their offense. And I think that sort of direction of a little bit more on the defensive side for the Bulls would definitely be a big push because offensive, they're pretty stacked, I think.
They can score with anyone, but they need to stop some people. So,
right.
But we'll see Billy, because I did like what he did last year with that OKC team. They're a lot of young talent, and he brought them into the playoffs. So
right, and kind of just talking about young talent still. So the Bulls picked Patrick Williams from Florida State with the 4th overall pick. It was, in my opinion, a little bit of a shocker. I was expecting someone a little bit more. More of a well-known name, but you follow college basketball pretty well, so you kind of know these players better than probably I do. So, kind of like the top of my head, you told me he's more of a six man. He was 6th man of the year in the ACC, and I think that's something the Bulls need because they never really had a six man kind of player, and that could definitely help some other players kind of relinquish some of their duties a little bit. And looking at him a little bit more, Patrick Williams has that size and strength and overall athleticism, and I think he'd be really good on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and that's what his strength was at Florida State. He was a good rebounder. He's a good defensive player. His offense is there. He can score, but he's definitely a better defensive player than offensive player. So.
Right. And then going back to AK, he's a European GM, and he's experimented with Euro big men, such as Jokic, and he's seen success from these Euro guys across the league, like Luka Doncic, for example. To me, it makes sense why he would pick Siberia second-round pick, Marko Sinonovic. I don't have a problem with him drafting him because I'm sure he's probably seen more of him versus other GMs. So and what I like about drafting Euro players is most of these guys, they've had professional experience as teenagers. Their draft class members, by the time they graduated high school in America, these guys have already been in the professional leagues for about 1 or 2 years at least. And I like to see players with more professional experience, regardless of the level of talent. But at least they've been somewhat on the big stage.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know anything about this guy. I read up a little bit about him, but he seems like he could be a good player here in the future. So We'll see what happens. And actually now with these high school kids that don't want to go to college, they've been going overseas and playing professional basketball just to get that feel of what it's like.
Right.
So
the Ball brother did that. He played in Lithuania and he also played in Australia, I believe.
Yeah.
But back to Marko, what an analyst was saying, he's kind of a work in progress. He's not fully completed. But I like the pick because he is a big man. And I got mad the Bulls didn't pick Wiseman at the first pick, but I think this is the next best thing they can get in the second round.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, now let's kind of see, what's the prediction for the Bulls season? My prediction is I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe 500, which may be good enough in the East to make the playoffs. They always, there's always a few of those teams in the East that don't have that good record and they make the playoffs. So, we'll see. But yeah, I think 500 is probably a good number for them.
Yeah, that's a fair guess.
So, and I think and trending upward too. I think they'll probably start out a little slow in the beginning of the year and kind of get better and better and better throughout the season.
Right.
So
yeah, and then kind of jumping overall picture, what are your preseason favorites to go to the NBA Finals?
My pick is the Clippers from the West and the Bucks to finally make it all the way.